Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin warns that Malaysia could lose at least 2 billion ringgit a day if it were to shut down the economy again to combat the spread of the COVID-19 outbreak. In a televised speech earlier this evening, the PM pointed to the rising number of new clusters being reported as of late and expressed concern that the daily number of new cases have returned to double digits. Meanwhile, 30 new clusters were reported throughout the MCO period, which began on June 10th. Muhyiddin said another round of MCO would cause the unemployment rate to spike and result in millions losing their income sources. In light of this, Muhyiddin said the government will look at imposing stiffer penalties on those who flout the RMCO and making it compulsory to wear masks in public spaces. Malaysia has recorded 8,800 coronavirus cases so far, with 21 new patients reported today. 122 are still being treated, while 2 were discharged, taking the total number of recoveries to 8,555 cases. That translates to a recovery rate of 97.2%. No new deaths were reported, which means the total remains at 123 for a mortality rate of 1.4%. Glove makers Top Glove Corp and Supermax Corp today both announced bonus issues as their share prices continue to trend upwards amidst the current pandemic. Top Glove is proposing a 2-for-1 bonus issue involving up to 5.48 billion new shares. According to Top Glove, the proposed bonus issue would reward the existing shareholders, increase the number of shares and potentially enhance the liquidity of the stock. It said in a filing with the boss that the entitlement date of the bonus shares will be announced at a later time. Meanwhile, Supermax is proposing a 1-for-1 bonus issue involving up to 1.36 billion new shares. Likewise, Supermax says the proposed exercise is to reward the shareholders of the company for their loyalty and continued support, the company said in a filing. Top Glove ended the day 8% up at 24 ringgit 82 cent, while Supermax's counter added 70 cent to close at 18 ringgit 40 cent. Bursa Malaysia's trading volume rose to a record high of 12.5 billion securities for a value of 6.64 billion ringgit. The bourse's previous all-time high of 11.81 billion securities had been on July 8th. It was also a positive day for the listed co, with Bursa's share price gaining 60 cent or 6.56% to end at 9 ringgit 75. The FBM KLCI had closed today 0.43% down at 1,589.45. Bernama quoted Bursa CEO Datuk Muhammad Umar Swift as saying that Malaysia's capital market remains resilient. He adds that the bourse had been steadfast in its intention to ensure continued and reliable access to the Malaysian capital market for immediate and long-term market confidence during these uncertain times. Senior representatives of Goldman Sachs Group have flown into the country to continue its discussions with the Malaysian government on the repatriation of 1MDB funds and assets into the country. In a statement, Finance Minister Tunku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said the effective recovery of 1MDB assets remains a key priority for the Malaysian government. He says that the hope is for fruitful discussions that would enable the parties involved to move closer to achieving the desired results on the 1MDB asset recovery. Tunku Zafrul adds that the government is fully committed to the recovery effort. On Saturday, Singapore Straits Times reported that a 6-member team of executives and legal from Goldman Sachs entered Malaysia last Saturday to sort out the final stages of a settlement deal with the Malaysian authorities. To recap, the Wall Street Bank received a hefty fee of $600 million from 1MDB for helping the fund arrange 3 bonds in 2012 and 2013, amounting to $6.5 billion. IGB REIT saw its second quarter profit after tax plunge 75% to 19.5 million from 77.9 million as both gross revenue and net property income more than halved during the quarter. Gross revenue for the quarter declined 54.1% to 62 million, while net property income dropped 62.1% to 37.4 million ringgit. This was mainly due to the rental support provided to tenants and lower car park income arising from COVID-19 and the movement control order, and its subsequent varying iterations. For the first half of FY20, PAT declined by 45.4% to 87.9 million, while revenue dropped 32.3% to 187 million ringgit. IGB, the owner of Mid-Valley Mega Mall and the Gardens Mall, says that it expects the current adverse business conditions to have a material impact on its financial performance this year. However, it says despite the grim outlook, IGB is determined to stay resilient throughout the pandemic and remains committed to bringing about long-term value for its stakeholders.